back to Easy Recipes with Elliot. Today's recipe is going to be very easy. Some people will deem it hard, but I believe once you break it up into sections, you'll be able to conquer it very easy. So today's recipe is a Southern delicacy. It is made in every African American household on every holiday and every special occasion. It is none other than cornbread dressing. So I'm going to show you my recipe and what I do to make this recipe easy, how it doesn't have to be super time consuming, and how it can be really tasteful. Meal is just a little bit of time and a little bit of love, and it'll take you a long way. So let's get started into this recipe. Have here right now is just the basis for our recipe. These are the main ingredients that you will need. So I have, now this is just my recipe. You can do a meatless dressing if you would like. I don't really care for meat in my dressing either, but I know that my family really loves meat in their dressing. So this is how I'm going to make it. These actually come in really handy. So these are frozen turkey wings. Now you see that they're really big. They're very, when you cook them, they're very tender and very tasteful. So these have already been smoked, and I'm thawing them out in some room temperature water. They've been sitting for about an hour, so they should be completely thawed out. And then of course I have some self-rising white cornmeal mix, some Aunt Jemima cornmeal mix, because we will be using cornbread. No, I do not use Jiffy. Some people will say that is blasphemy. You don't want sweet dressing, okay? This is not stuffing, and this is not oatmeal. This is not cream of wheat, okay? We do not want, I repeat, we do not want sweet dressing. That is not it, okay? Grandma would not like that. Okay, and then here you have to have vegetables in your dressing. Now this is a mixture of some bell pepper, celery, and onion, okay? Now these are the main ingredients. Now you have to have these vegetables in your dressing. Now these vegetables are known as the Holy Trinity, okay? This is bell pepper again, celery, and onion. Now I cut up a whole onion, I cut up a whole bell pepper, and I cut up about 4 to 5 things of celery, okay? Now these are also must-haves. You have to have your cream of chicken. Okay, you see that this is not a small can. This is the bigger can. You have to, it depends on how much you make, but you have to have cream of chicken. You have to have cream of celery. And you have to have cream of mushroom. Now, what you're going to see me do is I'm going to get ready to put my turkey wings in my, what is this? Okay, I'm gonna put it in my pressure cooker for about 45 minutes. They're gonna be tender and falling off the bone. Okay, so let's show you that process. I'm getting ready to do now is I put a pot of hot water. I put some chicken bouillon in there, and I put some cayenne pepper in there because I like my dressing kind of spicy, and I like the broth that I use to have a kick to it. So I put that in a pot on the stove, and I mixed it up. It's been on the stove for a few minutes. It's getting hot. Okay, you don't need to bring it to a boil. You can just let it get really hot. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm getting ready to add my turkey wings into this pot that is gonna go into this pressure cooker. Now you might say, well, Elliot, I don't have a pressure cooker, right? Okay, well that's fine. Now what you can do is you can make some broth with the chicken bouillon. It's very easy. All you do is add the chicken bouillon to your water, or you can get some regular chicken broth. I like the chicken bouillon because you can get a lot of pots of broth out of the chicken bouillon because it's so rich in flavor, and you don't have to put a whole bunch in the water. You can use your slow cooker, make you some broth or buy you some broth. Put your turkey wings in there overnight. let it cook for about 8 hours. You can have it on low. And when you wake up in the morning to make your dressing, or you can do it during the day while you're at work, and then when you get off work and you're getting ready to make some dressing, you can, they're completely tender. You can break it up and you can use the broth for your dressing. So now I'm getting ready to pour my hot water for my hot broth right on top of my turkey. Okay, so we're gonna put that right in there. See how it's steaming. See, you got to be careful. All right, you see how it's steaming? It's already hot. Let me adjust again. Because you want to put that top right on there, and you want to lock it. Okay, lock it like that. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it on meat and stew. Okay, I'm gonna put it on 45 minutes. That. Okay, now I'm gonna push it back. See, after so long it say on, and now. Okay, so now we're gonna make the cornbread. Of course, you know we need the large eggs, we need the mix, we got the buttermilk, and we've got the oil. Now, the recipe to make the cornbread, right, is right on the back of here. And the temperature that you're supposed to put the oven at is 425, excuse me. Alrighty, so let's get started. It doesn't really matter what pan that you use because the cornbread is gonna get broken up anyway. So I'm just gonna use one of my bread pans and I'm gonna coat it with butter. So now as we get ready to mix the dressing together, these are the seasonings and the ingredients that I use in my cornbread dressing recipe. These are completely optional, but these are the ingredients that my grandmother taught me to use, and they cause for great dressing. A list of them will be down below the video. Cornbread is all done. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna transfer it So now I'm gonna go ahead and add my cream of chicken. cream of celery just yet. Gonna add about half. Half of my cream of mushroom. Okay, now let's get ready to add the seasonings. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna add is one of the main ingredients in dressing. You cannot make dressing without ground sage. Very strong. So I'm gonna do about that much, not a whole lot. Next thing I'm gonna add is my poultry seasoning. Completely done. I'm getting ready to grab it out of here and put it in here and debone it. Now, the bones are all taken out of your meat, and you have shredded up your meat. Now it's ready to be mixed into the dressing. Now it's your choice if you want to use all of it. It's your choice if you want to use meat at all. But it's your choice or not. So I guess 75% of it. Consistency. I guess a little right there. I'm gonna add a little bit of broth to it. The consistency, and it's gonna heighten the flavor. Put a little bit of butter. Flatten it out, and I'm going to put it into my preheated oven, and then you guys will see the finished product. While my cornbread dressing is in the oven, I am going to make some homemade gravy to go with my dressing. Okay, so what you're gonna need to do first is add some oil to the bottom of your pan. And then I had just a little bit of leftover veggies. I'm gonna add them to the oil. Okay, so now that your veggies have fried for a minute or two, I want you to get some all-purpose flour and get just a little bit in your cup, about this much, and sprinkle it in there. Sprinkle it in there and mix it in there. See what I'm doing? Okay. Okay, mix it in there. Okay, so now that you have mixed the flour and the oil and the vegetables while the fire is still on, I want you to take a little bit of the remainder of your cream of mushroom, your cream of mushroom, and put some in there. Not a whole lot, but just about that much. And I want you to mix it in there. Alrighty, so now after you have mixed the cream of mushroom all in there, I want you to take some of the broth that you made with your turkey meat and pour it in the pan. And I want you to mix that up thoroughly. Okay, now that my flour and broth is all mixed together, you see that wonderful consistency? It's not lumpy, and it's not too thick or too loose. Now it already has great flavor because of the broth that I used from the turkey legs, but I'm just gonna add in my own little, maybe some black pepper and some poultry seasoning and maybe some garlic and onion powder. But that is going to be it, and maybe a little bit of spice, but that is going to be it. That is how you make your homemade gravy. So you remember, you fry your vegetables for a minute or two, then you add your flour, mix it in together, then you add some kind of thickening agent. You could have just added, the flour and the broth, and that would have made, for some good gravy as well. But I just decided to use a little bit of cream of mushroom. I would have used the cream of chicken if I had some left. But that's what you want to do, and that is how you make your homemade gravy. You let it simmer, you whisk all the lumps out of it, and there you have it. Your homemade gravy that is going to go with your dressing. Here is your finished product. Here is your homemade cornbread dressing. I left it in there for about 1 hour and 30 minutes. I wanted it to be browner on the top and a little bit stiffer, but here is your finished product. So here it is plated. Here it is with your homemade gravy on top of it. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. God bless.